Mr. Inbetween, making me root for a cold-blooded killer who laughs at throwing hot oil in the face of a stranger for money.
Tell us a little bit about why you're here.
My name is Ray. I'm 40. Got a kid. Divorced.
Do you think that you've got an anger problem?
No.
Okay.
Your favorite Eldritch Horror here, bringing you a review of Australia's best show you've never heard of until it started popping up in your shorts feed. The show introduces us to the main character, Ray Shoesmith, a gun-for-hire ex-military man whose dry sarcasm and extreme pragmatism in violence absolutely entranced me. We follow his dealings as he is hired to take on one violent job after another, while also having the absolute worst luck of anyone I've ever seen. I mean, the amount of absolute a-holes this guy randomly bumps into is beyond belief, but I enjoy the opportunities for him to demonstrate his brand of twisted justice. Ray believes the real world doesn't have the consequences it should for bad people, so like some type of unmasked Australian Batman, he seeks to do grievous bodily harm to anyone who steps out of line as a lesson in manners. I could immediately tell this show was something special by the way the dialogue rolls so naturally. This realistic kind of communication and human interaction has almost become rare within movies and TV, and was incredibly refreshing. Mix this with the type of practical, straight-to-the-point violence that I prefer to see, and we've got a winning combination. To the point of violence, let's take the show's first real shootout scene. What a masterpiece this was. Ray sees that he's being stalked by some other gangsters. Not one to be preyed upon, he leads them on a long journey out to the middle of nowhere. Ray, wearing body armor and loading a magazine into a submachine gun, crouches down behind his parked car as he waits for the following van to approach. Takes a deep breath, then sprays the van, reloads, and makes sure to finish the job. He then crouches down behind the van and pulls off the same tactic for the second vehicle. For all those who have been brainwashed by Hollywood, let me tell you something. Cars are not bulletproof. A car door offers almost as little protection as a t-shirt. Even small caliber bullets will punch right through. So seeing Ray mag dump these vehicles and immediately dispatch the men inside was very satisfying. Real violence is not cinematic in a traditional sense, like some Jason Bourne nonsense. Instead, it's fast, simple, and extremely effective. And within the nature of this violence, a cinematic quality is born. A quality demanding attention from the viewer and a reconsideration of our place in the world, as we are shown the truth of just how easily our life can be changed by one man determined to commit violence without remorse. Ray retains a strange sort of peace throughout the show, amidst the violence and chaos. We keep coming back to quiet moments of contemplation. These moments humanize him, reminding us that this isn't some action star. Outside of the barbarism, he is just trying to build a relationship with his daughter, maintain his relationship with his brother, and leaving himself available to the possibility of finding a loving partner. Ray is the embodiment of a Jungian philosophy, the integration of the shadow, and the portrayal of a character who has so comprehensively integrated his shadow is disturbing in the most fascinating way. An uncomfortable reality is that we all have that darkness within us, that we are all capable of terrible evil given the right circumstances. I certainly know I've been in situations that made me momentarily step back in my mind's eye and acknowledge the destructive potential I have and the terrible things I could accomplish given the need. I absolutely love Ray's crazy eyes and wide smile, an expression of a man who truly understands his capabilities. This expression is his shadow, like his own little secret during all of his interactions with regular people. The knowledge of what he could do if only he was a little less controlled. Ray sees himself as doing society a favor by punishing bad people, but it's his casual demeanor that sets him apart from the viewer. In one scene, we see him go on a collections job with another gangster. Ray simply takes down the man's information and dispassionately states that he's off to kill the man's family. When the man predictably exclaims that he will pay, Ray answers him by saying he doesn't want his money, and in fact, the other gangster was there for the money. Ray is just there to make him sorry he didn't pay when he had the chance. The next scene is Ray eating at a restaurant, showing that the threat was a bluff. But Ray's demeanor is what sold the bluff. Ray has an effortless terror about his presence, the presence of a man who doesn't think twice about carrying out exceptional violence, all while maintaining a disturbing amount of emotional control. I can say, as a fan of dark comedy classics like In Bruges and The Guard, Mr. Inbetween is right up there with the best. Dark and often absurd, and that is a combination I really appreciate. Like the pleasantry Ray keeps in his interactions while being held at gunpoint and literally digging his own grave. I give Mr. Inbetween a 20 out of 21. 6 out of 7 sacrifice cultists, truly creative camera work, especially considering the prevalence of run-and-gun type media. It is refreshing to see a shootout in a new light. The cinematography kept the viewer engaged in every scene. Interesting angles, great lighting, and exciting pace made every scene and set feel meaningful. 7 out of 7 screams of the damned, some of the best acting I have ever seen. The main character, Ray Shoesmith, is played by Scott Ryan, and I sincerely hope we see a lot more of him. He gave a world-class performance throughout the show. The character development was meaningful, deep, and organic. Nothing ever felt forced or out of place. There was a natural beauty to decisions made that only deepened the emotional impact of any given scene. 7 out of 7 Tentacles of Cthulhu. I binge-watched all 3 seasons in one weekend and have binged clips and shorts of the show more than once since then. Anyone aspiring to write for a living should study how the creators of this show architect their plot and wield the power of nuanced dialogue like Thor's hammer with the precision of a scalpel. Mr. Inbetween was a masterpiece of television and will be eternally underrated, an instant cult classic to be put alongside the likes of Firefly and Cowboy Bebop. I, along with millions of viewers, wish it wasn't cut so short, but such is the silver lining of such quality material. No chance was even given for the showrunners to fail. They burned brightly, and their excellence has been cemented in cinematic history. I give Mr. Inbetween my highest recommendation. Stop what you are doing and binge watch the show, and then tell your friends and family to do the same so you have someone to discuss it with. That's all for today, mortals.